Okay, if you've reached this point in your iPad music production project, you have already got securing because you've recorded in a piano, bass guitar, and drum kit part, and you've made them so that they fit perfectly in time together. Let's have a quick listen. So everything is edited and everything works perfectly in time with the other parts. Now, for you to get to Securing Plus, there are 3 more tracks for you to enter. So let's go through each of them individually. First of all, we're going to record the electric guitar. And just as with the other parts, the electric guitar is going to play the same chords as we had with the piano and the bass because they're working together as a team. So the first thing you need to do, on my screen you can see the instrument and the tracks at the top. So maybe press the brick wall button first, just to hide that instrument away. The important thing here is you must choose the electric guitar track, as I've just tapped on it there. Okay, now if you double tap on it, it will bring up the electric guitar instrument. I'd recommend you swipe upwards to play this, and the rhythm is coffee, 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 coffee. So I'm literally swiping my finger up the strip on the A minor, and then I'll do the same on the F, and the same on the C, and the same on the G. And you see on the music there, I'm going to swipe up 4 times and try and get this in time. So let me try and record it. I'm just going to press stop because there's something really important I forgot to tell you. Quantization is something that we use to get everything in time before, but because the way that we strum a guitar, we're not going to be able to use quantization this time. So one of the tricky things, one of the reasons this is Securing Plus, is because you have to be able to practice it and then play it and record it perfectly in time. And I heard as I was recording there that I wasn't playing it very well, so I'm going to need to concentrate more, maybe need to do some practice. I'll try again. Pretty good. I will listen back to it just to check. Strengthens the chord, but it also creates this lovely continuous sound in the music. Okay, the guitar is a little loud, so I'm just going to swipe out from the side and just, while I listen to it a little bit again, I'll just turn it down to get a nicer mix. You can mix and blend your music however you want. You are the producer in this project. Okay, so that is the guitar. The next track we're going to create is we're going to crash cymbal just on beat 1 at the start of every 2 bars. So you can see I've got it written out on the music there, where I've written the crotchet under beat 1, and then I've got a 1 bar rest, so a silence, on beats 2, 3 and 4, and 5, 6, 7 and 8. So there's not many crashes here, but we've got to make sure they're perfect, because these will essentially announce the start of a new phrase. So this time, when I press the brick wall button to see the tracks, I can click on my drum kit at the bottom where it says drum kit fill-ins if you've got it dragged out to mix with. If we double tap on this one, you can see I've got a real drum kit, or a picture of a real drum kit. And I've got this instrument here is the snare drum. These are tom-toms. This is the bass drum. This is the crash cymbal. This is the ride cymbal. and this is the hi-hat. And the instrument we're going to use on this recording is the crash cymbal, this one. And you'll notice as you tap that the bass drum will also play at the same time. It creates a stronger sound. If I'm playing a real drum kit, then I will try to do that as well. So whenever I play the crash, I'll play my right foot on the bass drum pedal as well. Okay, let me record this to show you how this fits. Actually stop before it gets to the end, but I will just bring that out at the end, drag it out. Okay, now this one does need quantizing because it's really important. It's right on the first beat and at the beginning of the first beat. So in the same way that we quantize before we go to track settings and quantization, these notes are so far apart that we will have 1/4 note as the quantize setting. I noticed as well that sometimes when I tap my iPad screen, so that I didn't damage it, I did it probably more softly than I wanted to play. So if I double tap and go to edit, I can go into the crash, the individual crashes, you can see them here. Tap on velocity and make sure that was pretty loud. The next one wasn't loud enough, so I'll turn it up. Tap on the next one. You don't really need the bass drum any louder at the bottom. And then press done. And let's have a listen back, check everything's in time. Happy with that. Okay, so let's look at see what else we need to do to get to this Securing Plus. And the last thing is we're going to record some drum fills. And this is, if I just go back to the drum kit, this is where we're going to use the snare drum and the tom-toms, but it's your choice of which ones you're going to use. The only thing that I've kind of controlled to see if you can do this accurately is the rhythm that you need to play on those drums. So you can see on the music there, it says that in the first bar you don't play anything because I've got 4 1-beat rests, and in fact beats 5 and 6 of this little section are also silent, but then in 7 I've got coffee, and in 8 I've got lemonade. So in other words, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, coffee, lemonade. So you've got to be thinking in time, even in the beats rest. It's completely up to you the pattern you play. You could just go on the snare drum, or you could go, you can do anything you like, but you just got to be careful that you play it in time enough so when you quantize it, the rhythm will be accurate. Here we go, let me show you how to record this. Notice as I was recording, some of the patterns are varied, and that can be good as well. A drummer wouldn't always play the same fill-in in a chorus in the same way. You create a little bit of variation of interest. Okay, now because we've got the lemonade notes in there, they're 16th of a bar, so I need to quantize this time. Quantization to 1/16. It's a much more complex, detailed rhythm. Let's listen to it back. So that I just turned up the drum kit fills and the cymbals there at the end just to bring them through in the mix a little bit more. But that is an example of how you get to S plus. Now, how you get to mastering, there's a button that we've not used yet, and you'll find behind this button that there's quite a lot hidden. So in the top right hand corner of the screen, if you click on the plus sign, it shows you that I've actually in the background recorded lots of different sections, and this gives us the whole song. Now you don't have to record the whole song to be able to get mastering, but you do if you want to get to Mastering Plus, which is the very highest grade I can give you. So to see all the sections, at the top of that list, I just tap all sections, and then I tap in the middle of the screen, and now I can see the whole song. And it starts with that chorus that we've just made. If I drag the play line along to section C, then this now is the verse. Higher than the mountains that I face. Okay, so that's the first bit that you've got at the, and you can see I've written higher than the, just to remind you of what that section is. Now you can see that we've got lots of empty space in the rest of this track. Actually, there's not that many different sections because section D, if I just move it along to here, love never fails, it never gives up. The chorus comes back to the bit that we created at the beginning. So you can actually, if I hold my finger down until it becomes a square and then drag around them all, I can tap and go to copy, and then I have to be so careful that it's right at the beginning of the chorus. Tap again on the screen. I think you have to click on the piano as the highest up track. Go to paste. Look, it makes you a full copy of everything. Let's see if that works. Brilliant. So, and there's another one here, the F. So I can tap on the screen and go to paste. Good. And there's another one right at the end. Paste. And so so you can see you've done quite a lot of the song already. All that happens here in this section, this is verse 1, so that's where the higher than the bit goes. This is verse 2, which begins on and on. And then these two sections here, it's actually just one section, and then it's repeated and we make it more complex. That's called the bridge, and that's where we take the musical detail off and do other things with it to create a bit of a contrasting section. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate a way to do a verse, but the expectation when you get to mastering is that you come up with your own patterns to play each of the instruments. You still have to make sure that the instruments all play together and all play the right chords at the right time and that everything's edited, but you can choose the patterns that they play, and you can be creative with that. The drum kit would often stay very similar throughout the track, but again, this is your creative opportunity to explore this and use what you've just understood about drum kit fill-ins and crashes to see if you can put helpful crashes and helpful fill-ins in the right place. As a general rule, when you're producing a song like this, the verses are softer, maybe simpler in the type of material, as you'll find in a moment. The choruses are louder, so to help to make them more memorable. And then the bridge, often the musicians will use it as an opportunity to show off a sense of musicality. So we're looking for more complexity when we get to the bridge. So if you're aiming for M+, just think about that later. So I'm going to work on the C section, which is verse 1. And to do the verse 1, instead of having the whole thing open on the screen, I'm going to click on the plus in the top right hand corner again, and I'm just going to click on section C and then tap in the middle of the screen. And it hasn't deleted the other work, there's no problem about that, but I've now just got section C to work on, just as I had just the chorus to work on originally. All right, so let's start in the same way. Let's go through the same process as we did last time for the chorus with the verse, and you can see the verse chords are written out there. So I'm going to play F for 2 beats, C for 2 beats, and G for 4 beats. And then I'm going to do that 3 times. And then for the last line, or the last phrase of this verse, I'm going to hold F down for 2 beats, hold A minor down for 2 beats, and hold G down for 4 beats. Okay, so that's a little bit more complicated than what we had in the chorus, but it's mastering. So have a listen to it, watch how I do this, and then let's see what happens. Okay, I've got a problem. I can hear the vocal, but I can't really hear whether I'm in time or not because I've switched the metronome off by accident. So let me switch the metronome back on. It's this blue button here at the top next to the volume control. So I'll just double tap that and delete it. Let's have another go. Okay, so I was pretty happy with that. I need to quantize it, or check it's quantized to 1/4, which it is, which is good. Let's just listen to it back. Okay, really happy with that. Okay, so I'll go on to the bass guitar track. Remember, you might have to press the brick wall button first before you tap on that next one. Remember to rewind it back to the beginning. Now I'm going to use a similar pattern, and I'm going to again remember the box all the way along this bottom row to record that. Now, I probably will do the similar pattern to the chorus, the coffee, coffee, coffee. Notice that's not written on the sheet. So this is completely up to you what you play, actually. Okay. Keep listening to it. Should still be quantized from the chorus. Okay, really happy with that. Brick wall button, onto the drums. Now, with the drums kit, remember we had this pattern before. I'm actually going to change the pattern. I'm going to make it a 16 beat. So this is what this sounds like. I'm going to add one extra bass drum there, listen to it. It just gives a little bit of extra detail there. You can do whatever you like, but it just feels, it's a bit more of a chilled vibe for this verse. Let's record that in. Remember, you don't need to do anything else apart from press the red button to record. It quantizes automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now in the electric guitar, I'm not going to do strums this time because I think that'd be overpowering. In fact, I think what I might do, no, I will leave it as electric guitar for now. Let's try it. Let's see what this is like. I was thinking, is it going to be too overpowering? I might tap on individual strings in a pattern. Yeah, so the length of time that I spend on each string is that's really important. So I've got to only be on the F strip for 2 beats, and then the C strip for 2 beats. Now what I do on that strip during those 2 beats is completely up to you. Okay, so let's record a guitar part. Because I was tapping individual notes, I can quantize that. The shortest note I was clapping was a quaver, which is like coffee, coffee, coffee. So I can make that a quantize of Now if I quantize this, it'll mess up my strumming. That's the only problem. So you might, if you were going to do this, so I probably will leave it as it is and just check it's in time enough. The other way to do it is to double tap on the instrument and go to duplicate and have one track for your electric guitar strumming and another track for your quantized picking. So I guess we could do that. Let's do that. Duplicate. So that's the new track underneath. Drag it down. And I'm gonna, this time I will, whoops, you've got to make sure you click on the right track so that it doesn't mess up what we had before. Go to 1/8. Let me just check on all sections. Is it on a different track? Yes, it is. That's great. Tap back on the middle of the screen. Okay, so you can see we're starting to get into some more complex work here. Let's listen to see what that sounds like now it's been quantized. I don't know if you noticed at the end there, but I used the same rhythm as the other parts. So the 2-beat F, the 2-beat A minor, and the 4-beat G, just so that, again, they're working together, but they're working together with something that's a bit more simple there. Okay, I'm not going to have so many crashes here, but I do want some. So let me have a think about where these crashes are going to come. Okay, so there we go. So I emphasize those longer notes at the end by putting crashes in. I know they're in the right place because it's quantized from before. So the last thing is that I'm going to record a fill-in towards the end of this to build up into the chorus, and this is what I might do. Okay, I want to check that that's right. So just something to almost give a signal we've got a new section coming. So you can do whatever fill-ins you like, that's absolutely fine. Now then, what I want to do now, because I think I've finished all the parts of the verse, I'm going to click on the brick wall button, click on the plus in the top right corner, go to all sections, and then tap in the middle of the screen. You can now see I've got chorus followed by verse followed by chorus. Let's listen to these 3 sections. so you can see those three sections just flow beautifully together now that we've added the verse. Now, because of the nature of Mastering Plus, I'm not going to show you all of how to do these sections as I did for mastering, because I think by this point I'd like you to be able to figure it out for yourself. But what I will say is at the beginning of the bridge, you can see we've got that rhythm written as coffee, sh, t, 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 t. So it's actually really important that all the instruments, no matter which instrument it is, all the instruments have to play that same rhythm for, and we call it in the band, we call that the stops section, because the whole band will stop in each of the rests and it becomes really dramatic. So let me show that to you. Let me go to the piano and I'll record from that section.
In life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My
Now, I did that without the metronome, which was pretty rubbish, but I wonder if it's worked.
death in life, I'm confident and covered by the power.
Now, it's not worked because I needed to quantize it to 1/8. Now again, I don't know whether I might need a separate track for this, because it's going to be a different quantization value. If you were working on a professional piece of software that wasn't on your iPad, you could have different quantization values on the same track. You can't on this. So we just need to put that duplicate track underneath, and let's try that again.
In life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My dad.
Okay, so remember to quantize it now. Track settings, quantization 1/8 for that second piano track. Okay, let's go on to the bass. So just to give you the example of this this stop kind of idea that we've got here. Okay, so record the bass.
In life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My dad.
So I don't know if you noticed there, I changed the pattern a little bit for the bass, just because I felt like I wanted to create some energy like I had with the previous sections. Listen to it.
In life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love.
Now, how do we do the drums on this? Well, you'll have to not include the rhythm playing at the start of this, because we're going to have to do it on this kit. So that's going to be a musical challenge for you to solve.
In life,
And then I want to start from there with the rhythm coming in. So you'll have to do that on the other drum kit, which is up here. And so maybe I'd go back into this original beat. Something similar to the original beat anyway. Record from the moment I want that to come in.
In life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My dad.
There we go. And then you might just want to trim it. So you can see the detail is quite a lot more once we get to Mastering Plus, but essentially you're getting very, very close now to the end of the song. And the last thing I'll say to you is this section here, this is the bridge bit we were working on, the first bridge. When the second bridge happens, it's exactly the same chords and the same material, and even the same lyrics from the singer, but I want you to create more energy and more build up into that final chorus and see how you get on. Okay, so that is now the instructions of how to produce the whole song. Enjoy.